What's up, everybody? Amar here, and this is the FLoridA Cache 5, and I'm just going to show how I begin doing my formatting. This is a drawing sense hit chart, okay? This is also a drawing sense hit chart. This is the same exact data, okay? It's just formatted differently. It's a graph, basically, right? It's the numbers drawn versus the date. These are the numbers drawn over here, and this is how it would appear visually within a graph. In my opinion, this is the first step. All right. Now I have an advanced graph that's in Excel, but when I first started, I didn't have an advanced graph like this. This was actually given to me, and the graph that I was doing was I was just actually making lines in Excel and printing out like a grid. It's like essentially graph paper. So I was printing that out and I would fill that in manually. Over time, I never learned how to make this myself in Excel, but I was gifted it, the formulas to do it, and now I'm more advanced as far as how to make pictures, okay, and I do some minor functions. But to get a good grasp of the picture, I like to put colors, right? Otherwise, you have no colors, right? This is what the graph looks like previously. It's all dark, okay? So I like to make a custom graph, a 4C, if you will, as C as in custom, and I call that the big dish, right? That's an acronym, big, for the colors that I use. So the first step that I do, and you can see also here the zeros were black with white fill. I'm sorry, were black with white font, right? Or so it was white with black fill. So in order to kind of reduce the cost of the ink, I switched to no fill with a black zero. Okay, so these dots are actually zeros, right? When I zoom in, they become zeros, and to me, it looks a lot prettier as a dot. So it's definitely smaller, but it's more precise. It's like a pinpoint, you know, and I can see more data. So what I do is right here I have conditionally formatted greater than 9 as this blue. So to get a better grasp, I have to the 1 through 9 is not filled in blue. So then I fill that in blue. Okay. Now it should fill in blue. Why is it not filling in blue? There we go. Alright, and then once you have the first one done, I just copy, Control C, and wherever I see that there's blue missing, I enter it in like this. So this is the first step in trying to get the colors in. Now the colors are in for contrast, right? For me, it's done to contrast the cold numbers from the hot numbers. Okay. Now, if you've been watching any of my videos, I tend to color in the hot numbers as pink, right? So hot pink. So for instance, here I generally color the hot pink, right, like this. And then I can see here, now the zeros, I don't like to color those in pink. They should just stay. So I might have to change the conditional formatting because these should be formatted just white. They might be formatted no fill, and that's why it colored in. So there you can see a hot pattern, right? And then when it comes in reverse flag, I color the pattern this color. It's a white font with a purple so that it sticks out and I can see it. So this came in reverse flag 4-6, and then it repeated 1 day 6. And now it's cold again. Okay, so I then color here this blue. So this is how I start structuring the colors of the patterns. So I'm just going to go through all the blues because I could be formatting this for hours. And I'm trying to just do a half an hour per game so I don't get obsessed become obsessed, and I can just get stuck on a game and do it for hours and hours. And sometimes when you become obsessed, you're becoming less efficient as time goes on. You need to actually step back and reassess every once in a while. And so this is like a half-an-hour workout that I was doing to just update this so I could start tackling the dormant periods with the big dish. So I just go through all of the dormant periods, and again, I like this because it gives me contrast between the hot numbers and the cold numbers. So wherever I see blue, alright, I just fill in where the conditional formatting is not blue. And I don't conditional format 1 through 9 blue because I like to do the pink, and that means I would have to delete the formatting and then put in the pink. Alright. Now the other convention is also to, I mean, I like the pink because it's kind of pretty, but I've also been using the convention as white as hot. So instead of hot pink, I've been doing hot white or white hot or white pink. No, I don't know. Wait, pink hot. Well, hot pink, you know, that's just colloquially, you know, hot pink pants and whatever. You don't usually say white hot. Usually, you know, white cold, like snow or whatever. I mean, you could use whatever logic you want to determine what you want to use, but I use hot pink and white hot. Okay, so for instance, here's a streak here, right? I want to see a streak where I can have a white and then a blue. Okay, here we go. So here you have the blue over here, and then here's all white, right? And then blue again. So it becomes more contrasted when I fill in the blue here. So you can see that this here is a streak, right? Now the other thing is that I still like the pink, right? So I just put in pink instead. But pink and white is basically the same, okay? And therefore, that's how I color my flag formations, hot patterns, stuff like that. I did do hot red hot for a while, but it became a little kind of too busy. People already say they don't like my charts because of the colors, but without the colors, for me, the chart doesn't mean anything. It's almost like looking at just a big mush of numbers. It's just a mess. So that's why I do it. And so I'm just going to finish up coloring all the blues here, and this will be the first step in the FLoridA game. The algorithm is located in the Lottery Master Guide. It's a little bit hard to decipher. I deciphered it by trying to reconcile the pick 3 with the larger odds numbers, and it works to a certain extent because you can get a good picture. I've been trying to reconcile now the algorithm with the last 50 chart because I've been ignoring the last 50 chart. But if you can use the last 50 chart with the big dish in coordination, I think that it should work. So that's something that I've been experimenting with the last couple days. So that's about it, I guess, for all these blues. Alright, I mean, I could go on and on. That's what I mean when I'm trying to reduce my workout to a half hour, because I could continue coloring this and formatting this and going back further and further and further, but it just becomes inefficient after a while. So let's see, what else? Oh, here's more blues. Okay, so at least I should color in the last 50, because the last 50 I can use the chart directly out of the Advantage Gold program. I mean, I could make a countif function and count the last 50 here, and that is something that I do, but it's kind of easier to just cut it out because, you know, a lot of people aren't going to understand how I do it. I was going to do a function here, let's see, for the last 50, but I've drugged this down too much. I don't want to mess with it. Alright, so let's see here. But basically, it's very simple. The last, you just do a countif. Let me see, where the hell am I? Just want to show an example of the countif. I'll do it on this side because this is just equal to that, and I can just delete it down. So like if I clear the contents there, home, conditional format, clear the rules from the selected cells, okay, and then I do equal and COUNTIF tab, and then you just do a range. Well, it's not exactly lined up. And where's the, let's see here, 49. Okay, 49, because I didn't get this last one at the bottom here. So there you go. That's 50. And then you count it if you put a comma, put a 0, close the tab, and then you hit the check mark or hit enter, and there you go. So you had 6 hits in the last 50. If you drag to the right, you get the autofill. It counts all these columns, and then a conditional format. You can do color scales, and let's see, blue, red will be hot, and blue will be cold. And you can see here which numbers are the best in the last 50. Alright, and let's see, put a little outside border there. Alright, so, okay, so you can see here, this is 10 hits in, well, this should be 36 here. This is 36. Here you can see it here, but this is a little squished in. So the 10 hits is right here, is this flag, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then here, another cold period. So in the last 50, this is be the top number at the top of the chart, right? If you looked at the Advantage Gold. And let's see, let me ignore the error here. Okay, so the other top number here is, this is, what is this? The 15. Alright, so you can see the 15 here. Again, here, if you look here, you can say hot white, right? But again, I like to put the pink because I like the contrast. It's just, it jumps out, and I need it to jump out because otherwise I resist playing it. I used to put the pink, but I'd be like, no, it's too hot, it's too hot, I can't play that number, it's too hot. No. So no, you colored it pink, you have to play it. Play it. Right? It was a way for me to twist my own arm because the logic says, no, the number is hot, it's not going to hit anymore. So I like to color it pink. Alright, so let's see, let's color this whole streak pink for the 15. And do it like this. It's a little faster this way, I think. And then what's another hot number here? Looks like over here we got the 6 and the 5. So here's the 6. Here's some pink. Now you could just format certain pinks that you like, right? Like if you want to focus on certain numbers that keep you from switching your numbers. You know, it's a personal decision. Everybody's going to have a starting point of their own, right? Some people will stay with their birthday numbers, so they'll be like focused on a certain number. So two people can see the same data, see the same picture, and focus something else. And there's no really wrong interpretation of it. It's just, for me, I like to be able to see what's hot and what's not. And I think that the big dish algorithm is the best way, in conjunction with the last 50, is to see, you know, what the best numbers are. And then the other advanced patterns are still the groups, the decades, like two last digits. I like my favorite is two repeating numbers and two skip one numbers. And the thing is those are patterns that the drawing sense hit charts, you have to make them your own because they're not within Advantage Gold. And interestingly enough, the big dish algorithm applies to most of those patterns as well. So when you use all those things in conjunction, hopefully you can get, you know, lucky, because that's what it's about. You're trying to get lucky. This is not like magic, you know. It's not, you know, people say, oh, you can't win, it's impossible, you can't mastermind, you can't do this. It's really hard, you know. It's not going to be easy, it's not going to be fast. you're gonna have to really try to get the lower tier number. So you're not really trying to win the jackpot. You're just trying to win your money back. Because if you don't win your money back, you're gonna eventually just quit, because it really sucks throwing your money into a hole, right? You know, so certain games have bigger prizes for for matching 4 or 5 numbers. If you can do that, you can play with house money for a while, a couple months. And I really do budget my games. I don't know what to pick. I think the win for the 4 prize win is like $100 for Florida, I think. So if you play, $3 a day, you've got 30 days to break even with a 4-number win. And and this is so and these intermediate skips, when the flag according to the Lottery Master Guide, right, is skip 5, but she also says it goes up to skip 6. That's why I color pink from skip 0 to 6. Well, not 0, because 0 you have 2 zeros. There's no gap to color. I could put it anyway, right? Because you have 2 numbers together, so there's no pink in there. It's just a bunch of dots together. But after skip 6, I format 7, 8, and 9 as yellow, because the flag is fundamentally broken down, and it's either going to cascade out into a cold period, or it's gonna come back into the flag. So that's a really advanced and complicated pattern. Gail Howard doesn't mention it at all in the Lottery Master Guide. I even tried to ask her about that at one time in a Facebook group, and I don't know, they just kept on ignoring me, and finally I got pissed, and then they banned me from the group. But I got back into the group because I got re-invited because my charts are kind of good, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so and this is entry, like where this is entry a reverse flag, I entry this as reverse intermediate. Okay, because the numbers are decreasing, 14, 9, and then 1, 1, and I've gone to a cold period. So that's, I think, where in the Lottery Master Guide she says it's putting on the brakes. I mark it here because I'm saying, okay, is it putting on the brakes? And usually I look for a hot skip after this intermediate entry. An intermediate just being in between. It means in between a flag and in between a dormant period, right? So that's where I got that from. So I think that's it for this video. Questions, comments. I gotta do so much with my website, and I want to make some of these charts available because they're I think they really help, but yeah, so it's a pain in the ass. So I'll try to finish this with the big dish, do more coloring in my next half an hour stint, because I'm gonna move on to, I think, the Texas now when my half an hour is done. And that's my timer. So I've been half an hour coloring this, and so basically what I did in the half an hour is I had to go into my other file and change this formatting of the black zeros to the white, the black fill zeros to the white fill zero. So I changed the white zeros to the black zeros. And then I started coloring these 10s, right? The 10s from 1 to 10, the blue, so I can get a good idea of, not a good idea, a good picture, a good visual, a good contrast, right? And then I did a little countif with the zeros to see the best numbers in the last 50, which is done for you in the Advantage Gold program. And then I started coloring the pinks, looking at the hots. So anything that was hot in the last 50, I put pink. So what I should do really is I should make a prediction. So let's make a prediction. So let's see, I'm going to put in my little boxes here, which I try to do to track my prediction. Now we don't want recommended charts, we want insert an object, illustrate a shape, a square, Alright, and then what I do is I format the square, shape outline is red, shape fill is no fill, and then I shrink it down. Now I don't like to put the red boxes on the big dish because it gets really messy and ugly. So I think that's why I put this over here, as far as why I let's see, copy. Let me bring this over here. Because once you do the count if, right, you can make your own customizable graph. So let's see, paste special, values, okay. Paste special, formats, okay. And then you insert recommended chart, hit okay. And there's your column chart, okay, for last 50. So this is a variant of what you can get in Advantage Gold. So you can make almost all these charts in Excel. That's why I mostly use just Excel. I use the Advantage Gold when I'm feeling lazy, right? Because I like to get a good picture. And so let me just title the chart here, which is last 50. And what do we got? Florida 536. Alright. Oh, and I should put the as of what date. Let's see. As of today is the 19th of 2019. And then if you left click on the bar and then right click on the bar, you add the data labels, and then you can see the count in the last 50. Alright. And since I copied the data from here to here, its values, I can just delete over here, and I'll drag it over here because I can have it, let's see, make it line up with the numbers. And then you can add a grid line, major grid lines. Alright, so I'm going to drag this down, get rid of that count if. The data will stay here because I did paste the values. Alright, and now I'll make a prediction. So where's my little red box? Come here, red box. Alright, so what do? I start with my pink. You have to look at the pink, otherwise you're gonna get confused. At least I get confused anyway. So let's see, where's the pink here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5 is hot. So the 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got the 5 here, alright? And I still use the same spread. Now you do in the Advantage Gold program, they do tell you like the cumulative spreads for all the drawings or whatever. But I still like the 20. I used 21. Fibonacci number 21. Why it works, I don't know. But over here, well, let me not get into that right now. I'll have to do a separate proof on why I find that it works. It's been good for me. So we had the 5. Alright, let's look at another hot number. Another hot here. 15. Alright, skip 1. No more pink. 15. So I put the little red here. 15. Let's make another little red box. Here's another one. 26. From 5 to 26 is 21. You can see flag, 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 intermediate, and here the flag looks like it's coming back. So 26 is, where is it? Over here. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's see. Let me see if I should shrink these a little smaller so I could at least read it. Let's see. Let's put it at 5 and see how it looks. That's really small. Let's see. 5.5 font. Enter. Okay. Let's see. 6? Was it at 6 before? I couldn't read it. Okay, 6. Alright, at least I can read it. 6. Let's see. So going back down. Alright, so there's a 26. 11 hits in the last 50. So hot, hot, hot. Alright, so let's look at a cold number. Alright, because in the last 50, you're always looking for the cold number to come around. So the coldest number looks like it has 4 hits. So you got the 2 here, 13. So you got a 19, 13. Here's 4. This is a 21. Here you got 1, 2, 3, 14, 1 to 21. Looking for a hot skip there. 24 is over here. 4, 5. That one looks pretty good. Where's my? I need another red box. Where is it? Where the hell is the red box? Oh, there it goes. So the 24. It's very cold in the last 50. It's got a nice symmetry. Where is it over here? Symmetry 22, 5, and then 4. And let's do a long shot. And since we don't want to go too long on the long shots, we got a 9. 9 is good because skip 10. It's also pretty hot. Another skip 10 is over here, the 18. So I'm gonna go with the 9 because I like the gap 3. So 5, 9 gives me a gap 3. Smaller gaps occur more often than other numbers. So this is my prediction. One line, you know, because again, you got to stay within budget. You can do big wheels, but I never had success with big wheels. I'm more success when I'm using my precision like this, using gaps, small gap here, gap 3, gap 1, small skips, skip 0, skip 1, skip 4. 2 skip 1s, 2 skip 0s occur a lot, 2 skip 4s, 2 skip 7s, 2 skip 6s. As the skips get larger, 2 of them occur with less frequency. Some people like to use that system, namely Jim from Louisiana, but he doesn't want to share it. But I noticed what he's doing. But he's doing is skip 6 and 7s, and I don't know why he's doing that. He should do skip 0s and 1s. It makes more sense because it occurs more often. And when he hit that jackpot, I think that's what he did. But then he reverted back. You revert back to your bad ways. That's the problem with the lotto if you don't have great discipline. So I'm way over my half hour for this for my workout, and but this is pretty much how it is. This is the line. I'll be putting this on the boards, and we'll see how it does. And you know, use this as any way that you like. You know, it's a personal decision. Any pattern could happen. Any pattern couldn't stand out. Any person could see anything different, right? And basically, this is the graph. This is the drawing sense hit chart. This, in my opinion, is the best graph to use or best chart to use. Of course, Gail's program doesn't have any colors, so you have to use the last 50 to see the hot. But I like to use the pink. It helps me to see the hot. And that's about it. So if you get to watch this and you get to make some predictions and they come out good, let me know how you do. Alright? Post it in the comments. Alright, everybody. Good luck. Happy number hunting.